A very good Sunday evening from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. Welcome to the news on NTA International. I'm Musbad and Wahab. Let's see the headlines.
Catches it back to Kalu, and the former Savannah State star.
Nigeria's national women basketball team, the Tigress, now playing against Senegal in FIBA African Championship finals. National Assembly condemns assault on former Deputy Senate President. First batch of pilgrims from Lagos State arrive in Nigeria from Saudi Arabia after the Holy Pilgrimage. Welcome on board. Let's let you know that Nigeria's national women basketball team, the Tigress, about now playing in the final as this former national chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC, John Odige Onyegu, as a consummate politician and as to strategies whose life is worthy of emulation. This was when friends, relatives and political associates from across the country converged on the International Conference Center in Abuja for the 80th birthday celebrations of a former Edo State governor. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Of the Son, and in the greatest name of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
So much tributes from friends and political allies, many of whom John Odige Onyegu had known for decades. Listen to what Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says about the former governor of Edo State and the immediate past national chairman of the All Progressives Congress.
Very special pleasure and privilege again, sir, to wish you and to wish this very fine gentleman, this loyal party man, excellent role model and leader, a very happy birthday. I pray that as your days, so shall your strength, so shall your wisdom, and so shall your favor with God.
And the Vice President says the celebrant remains an institution even till date.
When God has honored him,
the celebrant was eulogized by all.
A committed patriot, a zealous fighter, and a patriotic Nigerian in whom we are all very, very proud.
A testament to a great sense of duty, great discipline and probity.
And what does the celebrant himself has to say?
Fortunately today, I doubt that there is any corner of this country where there aren't highly qualified Nigerians. And the time has come for merit to become the sole determinant of positioning and placing people.
The night is not without words of advice for Nigerians from erudite scholar Professor Ibrahim Gambari, emphasizing the need for all to support government in getting rid of criminality in the country.
Nature abhors a vacuum. If people don't stand for Nigeria, if people don't stand for what unites us, then we will leave the field to those who capitalize on what divides us.
Odige Onyegu was born on the 12th of August 1939 and attended Holy Cross Catholic Primary School in Benin, St. Patrick's College in Asaba, and bagged Bachelor of Science in Economics in 1963 from the University College, Ibadan. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Congratulations to the celebrants. Moving on away from Nigeria, some members of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, in Nuremberg, Germany, have attacked the former deputy president of the Senate, Senator Ike Ekweremadu. The senator who gave the account of the event, however, assured Ndigbo and his supporters across the nation that he is safe. Ekweremadu, who was given a resounding welcome by the organizers, said the event went smoothly until some men who identified themselves as IPOB members stormed the venue and began to complain about events in the southeast. And following that, the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has condemned what he described as the shameful assault on former Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, on Saturday in Nuremberg, Germany. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President of the Senate on Media, Ola Awoniyi, says it is incredibly absurd for anybody to blame the distinguished senator for the violent criminal activities in his home base, the purported reason cited by the mob for the bewildering attack. It explained that Senator Ekweremadu, like all other senators in the Ninth Assembly, is concerned about the insecurity and other challenges in that area and other parts of Nigeria, pointing out that Senator Ekweremadu has also been at the forefront of the patriotic efforts to finding lasting solutions to these challenges. Senator Lawan also describes it as barbaric and urges the German authorities to identify those involved in the act so that the law would take its course on them. He advises Nigerians to always reflect deeply and broadly before embarking on a course of action and implores the youth to ventilate whatever grievances they have in line with prescribed law, as well as respect for democratic ethos. And chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission has condemned the attack on the former Deputy Senate President and current serving Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, of the second annual Igbo Cultural Festival held in Nuremberg, Germany. Senator Ekweremadu was attending as a special speaker, guest of honor, as the event organized by the Indigbo Germany community was reportedly beaten up and urged publicly. Dabiri Erewa affirmed the incident is an embarrassment to the country. She also appealed to Nigerians to be of good behavior wherever they find themselves because such incidents tarnishes the image of the country. And in a related development, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has condemned in its entirety the attack on former Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, by some Nigerians in Germany at weekend. A statement by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Kola Ologbodinyo, says the PDP amply notes that the former Deputy Senate President was attending the second Igbo Annual Festival in Germany, where he was duly scheduled as a speaker and special guest of honor when he was attacked. The party insists that the attack on Senator Ekweremadu was uncalled for, unprovoked, and cannot be justified under any guise whatsoever. The statement adds that such assault on a leader is completely unacceptable and does not portray the nation in proper light. The PDP therefore charges the Nigerian ambassador to Germany as well as the German government to take appropriate decisive action on the matter. And away from that, the first batch of 432 pilgrims from Lagos State have arrived the country from Saudi Arabia. Abolore Ogbara reports that the pilgrims, who were highly elated by the Hajj experience, promised to continuously pray for the success of President Muhammadu Buhari.
After fulfilling one of the mandatory pillars of Islam, the pilgrims arrived the cargo wing of the Muritala Mohammed Airport, accompanied by officials of the Hajj Commission. Some of them, who just had their first Hajj experience, said they have been replenished, promising to exhibit the spiritual lessons learned during the exercise in their daily activities.
One of the major lessons I learned is you have to be patient because you're meeting so many people from different countries, from so many races.
We learned a lot. The first one, we should be loyal and we should be truthful. And we should know the Allah we are serving is one. And we should be our brother's keeper.
We're supposed to fear Almighty Allah and love our neighbor and love our country.
A prominent Islamic cleric who spoke on behalf of the pilgrims commended President Muhammadu Buhari and the state governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu for the support and commitment to the welfare of the pilgrims.
May Almighty Allah continue to bless all Nigerians and make our country to be a great nation in the whole world.
It's been awesome. I mean, I want to go again.
Another batch of the pilgrims from Lagos State is expected to arrive the country in the coming days. In Lagos, Abolore Ogbara, NTA News.
Now to security matters. The new theatre commander operation Lafia Dole, Major General Olusegun Gabriel Adeniyi says he is coming with the zeal to rout Boko Haram terrorists and take the fight to the insurgents. The theatre commander stated this shortly after taking over from the outgoing theatre commander, Major General Benson Akinroluyo, at the headquarters of the command in Maiduguri. Memuna Garba reports.
The new theatre commander Operation Lafia Dole, Major General Olusegun Adeniyi, promised to continue with the gallantry from where his predecessor stopped, stressing that he was properly groomed by the outgoing theatre commander to perform the onerous task of restoring peace to the region. He assured the Chief of Army Staff to live up to his responsibilities, pointing out that his mission is to clear the remnants of the insurgents.
I am going to turn up the heat on the insurgents. Great generals have served here and have taken the fight to Boko Haram. I will further take the fight to Boko Haram. You will remember I said so.
Outgoing theatre commander, Major General Benson Akinroluyo, thanked the Chief of Army Staff for the rare opportunity, describing it as a worthwhile experience. He said the new theatre commander is familiar with the operations, having known the terrain well, and wished him success. Major General Benson addressed soldiers and officers of the command, where he commended them for the successes recorded throughout his stay and urged them to maintain the tempo, adding that he will continue to monitor their activities from his new place of work. Meanwhile, a mini launch was organized in honor of the outgoing theatre commander. From the Military Command and Control Center, Maiduguri, Memuna Garba, NTA News.
Meanwhile, in recent history, Maiduguri has become a flashpoint for the dreaded Boko Haram insurgents. And no doubt, many have been displaced, let alone the human and material losses. However, Naomi Abuoko reports that all hope is not lost, as stakeholders are complementing the efforts by the government to restore Borno State to befit its slogan, that is, home of peace and hospitality.
The Boko Haram insurgency has, in its 11 years, inflicted one of the worst humanitarian crises in the northeastern Nigeria, according to a post-insurgency recovery and peace-building assessment jointly carried out by United Nations and Nigerian government. The total cost of destruction in the northeast amounts to $9 billion with Borno alone counting for $6.6 billion and still counting, considering pockets of attack here and there. However, the worst is over due to the renewed vigor and commitment of the Nigerian armed forces. Communities once lost to terrorists have been liberated, with many people relocating back to their communities. With this development, the federal government, Borno State government, international and national donor agencies have rolled out several initiatives and programs toward peace building.
Public and the traditional institution, the religious institution should also be carried along. When you talk about these youths, you also have to talk about the parents too. They too, they have to give the moral discipline to their children.
Any of the forces, without the support of the people, cannot bring peace to us. Our people should now rise to the occasion by giving them the necessary information.
The communities that have returned must be resilient, courageous, and tolerant, and forgive those who they think are the brains behind this insurgency.
Building blocks of harmonious coexistence among the diverse people for peace and unity to take root has been the focus. Efforts aimed at restoration of community life as the Boko Haram insurgency weakens.
In Maiduguri, Naomi Abuoko, NTA News.
And you're watching the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja. We have a break now. More news when we return. Stay with us.
hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogerula. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Thanks a lot for staying tuned in to the news on NTA International. And good news coming from Gusau says normalcy has returned to local markets across Zamfara State following the feats of so far achieved by the ongoing peace initiative of the state governments. Jamilu Ibrahim reports that the popular Madam Market in Gusau local government area of the state, which was formerly deserted due to the high rate of insecurity in the area, is now back to business.
Commercial activities had been paralyzed for almost a decade in all the markets across Zamfara State, owing to the spate of insecurity occasioned by the age-long rivalry between some section of Hausa people and the Fulanis. With the recent restoration of a relative peace resulting from the ongoing dialogue between the warring parties, business activities have however begun to resuscitate, especially at the local markets.
This is the Kara section of the popular Mada market of the local government area of Zamfara State. The market was hitherto deserted as it became a no-go area for Fulanis. It is however now back to life, with Hausa and Fulanis busy transacting with one another.
The story is the same at all other sections of the market, as Fulanis and their Hausa counterparts were sighted busy making various business transactions.
A gaskiya mun samu ci gaba yanzu dangane da kasuwancin mu, jama'a sun hito cikin kasuwa.
Allah bai da namin jon da jam. Allah bai da ɗaukaka ki ko gwamnayo.
The popular joint where Fulani women sell milk and butter, which was formerly deserted in the market, is also back to life. District head of Mada, Magaji Samaila, who expressed confidence that the peace has come to stay in his domain, applauded the Zamfara state government for the wonderful initiative.
The people have received the message, and I think it will go down well into the hinterland. And at the end of the day, we'll have the much desired peace we require in the state.
Well, the situation is almost the same in all the local markets across Zamfara State. And it is a fervent prayer of all stakeholders that the feat will be sustained for the revival of the socio-economic development of the state. From Mada Market in Gusau local government area of Zamfara State, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
That's a good news coming from Zamfara State, and we hope God answers that prayer. Thank you, Jamilu. Now, an early morning fire outbreak has destroyed shops at ED quarters of Gombe Metropolis. Zara Omar Adamu reports that the fire razed the entire first floor of the one-story shopping complex belonging to the Gombe Local Government Council.
Though no life was lost in the fire inferno that started some minutes after midnight, property worth millions of naira were destroyed. Eyewitness and victim of the fire outbreak, Rufai Ibrahim, explained that he was informed of the smoke coming out of one of the shops when he rushed to the scene and immediately ran to 2 offices of the fire service, but was told all their vehicles are grounded.
We decided to come back and just see how we can help and assist our co-occupant to see if we can at least come up with an idea the way we can control the fire. But unfortunately, there's nothing we can do than to sit down and watch till the end of the fire disaster.
Another victim, who happened to be a humanitarian activist, Muhammad Al-Amin, expressed sadness over the incidents, calling for revival of the fire service in the state.
Whenever you call their attention, they will give you a reason of there is no any car, no any vehicle that will convey, or there is no any staff that are available there. So we are calling for the government to intervene, please.
The shops affected are mostly offices and repair shops for handsets, cameras, and computers, among others. Zara Umar Adam, NTA News.
Now we're taking you away from the shores of this country and 4 stories trending in other parts of the globe. Over now to Justin Bem.
A group of 16 African countries has called on the US and EU to immediately lift economic sanctions imposed on Zimbabwe. Tanzanian President John Magufuli, who is also the chairman of the Southern African Development Community, said the policy was hurting the region. The sanctions were imposed in 2002 when Robert Mugabe was president. President Emerson Mnangagwa blames them for crippling development in the country. He says removing them would attract Western investors to Zimbabwe after close to 2 decades of economic isolation. Zimbabwe is reeling from high inflation and shortages of basic supplies such as fuel, power, and water. Inflation is currently at a 10-year high, shrinking salaries and pensions, while the price of bread has increased 5-fold since April. About 5 million Zimbabweans are currently in need of food aid, according to the UN. In another news, officials say at least 63 people have been killed and scores wounded in an explosion targeting a wedding in the Afghan capital. Reports have it that this is the deadliest attack in Kabul this year. The suicide blast took place on Saturday evening in the men's reception area of the Dubai City Wedding Hall in western Kabul, in a minority Shia neighborhood packed with people celebrating a marriage. Women and children were among the casualties, said Nasrat Rahimi, a spokesman for the Interior Ministry. The Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, ISIL and ISIS group claimed responsibility for the attack on Sunday. The blast came as the Taliban and the United States are trying to negotiate an agreement on the withdrawal of U.S. forces in exchange for a Taliban commitment on security and peace talks with Afghanistan's U.S.-backed government. The Taliban denied any involvement, calling Saturday's blast forbidden and unjustifiable. But Afghan President Ashraf Ghani said that the group cannot absolve themselves of blame, for they provide platform for terrorists.
Justin Bem with the foreign scene. Now the 12th African Games formally begins on Monday, that's tomorrow, in Morocco. Tamara